Hi, shipmates. Happy Mounjaro Monday. I'm going to start this time giving myself my Mounjaro shot live at the beginning of the video instead of waiting till the end because sometimes I forget and I feel bad about that. And today is my 106th shot. Um, and I have a special story that I'm going to start this week with. Um, let me give myself my shot first, but you really want to listen to this. I promise you, if it's your first time showing up to Anchor Moments, or if you have been with me along this journey, I have a very special story to share. And it's life changing for me. And I hope with the power of one, that'll be life changing for somebody else too. But first, this is a new thing that I'm gonna be doing, and I haven't done it this way in a long time. Do you have the little things here, Jeff? Jeff here is my husband of 35 years, and I love him to pieces. My name is Gina. I have type 2 diabetes, and I've been on this Mounjaro journey for over 2 years now. Jeff does not have type 2 diabetes and does not take a GLP-1, but he's on a healthy lifestyle journey too, and has been also trying to lose weight. So we're a special team that way, and we are here for everyone who wants to have a healthy lifestyle journey. Our mission on Anchor Moments is to feed your body, mind, and spirit. Let's start with the shot. So, last week when I gave myself my shot, it was kind of weird. I did it on the top of my stomach right here, and it's hard right here. And it's never been hard right here before. And when I gave my shot right here, um, there was just a teeny little drop of fluid that didn't go in. And I went and saw my doctor this week, and I had my annual checkup, and I told my doctor. I actually had two doctor's appointment. My gynecologist first thing in the morning, and then immediately after that, my primary care doctor, so I can get my Mounjaro prescribed again. I was in need of my diabetes check, but I was actually my gynecologist because she was checking all kinds of things down there. And I said, "Can you push on my stomach? Because I'm afraid there's something wrong because it's hard right here and it usually isn't hard right here." And when I gave myself my shot sitting down, usually if I give it sitting down, I never get one of those little bubbles. If I'm standing up to give myself my shot, sometimes I get it on my leg or on my stomach. And I figure it's because my muscles are tighter, but when I'm sitting down, they're relaxed. So it's really easy to get into the fat. And
That's the goal.
and that is the goal. And my gynecologist, she felt around and she laughed and she said, "I think you just have more muscles there." And then I had to laugh and go, "Oh my gosh." Jeff and I started working out, lifting weights and strength training in December. And son of a gun, I have a six pack underneath my 12 pack of fat. And both she and my primary care doctor said, maybe what you should do now is I have a little extra fat right here because the idea is you really want to get it in your fat. You can use the fat on your stomach, the fat on your upper arms, or the fat in your upper thighs. And she said, maybe go over more this way. And so I've never given it to myself more on the more side-ish fat. So I'm going to try that today. Usually I'm going around the clock right here. So anyway, I'm going to try the side fat right now. And just other good news that's not part of the story that I'm going to tell you when I'm done with my shot. Um, They can check your A1C now with a finger prick, and it takes 3 minutes. I couldn't believe it.
And you get your results immediately.
Yeah, well, 3 minutes, but
Well,
still 3 minutes.
That's pretty immediate.
Yeah. And 3 months ago, I was so incredibly excited because my A1C was 5.4, finally in the healthy, really good, healthy range.
What was it this week?
Well, this
Or
time
last week?
I was a little nervous on Friday when I went to the doctor's to get my A1C, because I'm like, gosh, this is the one that's going to include Christmas and Thanksgiving. And my doctor said, oh yeah, everybody's A1C is a little bit higher when they do it in January.
Halloween,
Yes.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New
Yeah.
Year's.
Yeah, all of that is part of that was 90 days of blood sugar average is what makes your A1C. And so we were all kind of sitting with our fingers crossed that it wouldn't be too terribly high. And guess what? It was 5.2. It was even 2 degrees lower than it was last time. So it is a crazy good A1C. So that has been really fantastic. So I was really excited about that. Okay, I've washed off right here. I've
Don't forget
washed
to
it
take
off.
off the gray thing.
Yep. I mean, always take the cap off first so you do not break your shot. I have done that. If you twist first while the cap's still on, it can mess it up. So you take the cap off first. And I'm sitting down, I'm relaxed. And wow, this fat way over here. Okay, it's all nice and squishy. So there's my squishy fat.
Did you unlock it yet?
Oop. Unlock it, do my little twist. So it's now unlocked. All right. And they also said, don't pull it up too fast,
Yeah.
because maybe that was making having a little extra not go in. So, all right. So I'm not going to pull it fast. Ready? And listen for 2 clicks. Did you hear the second click?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm not going fast. I am slowly going to lift up. Do you see a bubble?
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, which is good because I was a little bit hungrier yesterday and the day before, and I think it's because I just didn't get as much medicine inside me that I normally do. So I was missing some of that. Um, all right, and now I want to share something. What's bringing this about? I'm inspired to share a special story with you today because my good friend Barb has a website called Health at Any or has a website, Health at Any Cost, has a YouTube channel called Health at Any Cost, and she has a Substack called Health at Any Cost. And today she did the most amazing story in her Substack, Health at Any Cost. And I subscribe to her Substack. You can read her things for free, but you can also um, uh, give a donation to her Substack, so she doesn't have to do a paywall. Because some people do a paywall, so you only get to see some of the best stuff if you pay. And she gives all the best stuff to everybody. But it would be real helpful if you could give a donation. So anyway, if you're willing to do that, go ahead. But in her Substack today, Barb shared her why of why she's taken Mounjaro, and a lot of the different things that she's done in her life. She gave her why for it, and it was very inspiring. Barb's the kind of writer that when you read her stuff, she'll make you laugh, she'll make you cry, but she'll leave you very inspired. And Barb has lost 280 pounds on her Mounjaro journey. And she's also been a guest on my show. Gosh, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 4 times now. I don't know. I think at least 4 times now, a bunch of times now. And I got to visit her in Orlando, and I'm going to be visiting her real soon on our next trip. When we leave here in a little bit, we're going to head over to Florida again. And so we'll do another video with her. But she's part of my why. And she made me think about it all day today after reading her why. What's my why? Why am I doing this YouTube channel?
Yeah, why?
Why? Why am I every Monday night without fail? Even when we're on the road, we'll try to find a place to stop and do a live from our van. We have a second YouTube channel too, Anchor Moments RV, and we go on long trips. Um, why? Why do I do this? Why do I share while I'm still overweight, my weight with friends and strangers? Why do I do this? Why do I give myself my shot live every week? Why do I do this? And so I thought about it real hard all day while I was thinking about my buddy Barb. And I've mentioned it before about the power of one, that if I can make a difference for one person somewhere in the world each week by going live and sharing, because I'm not sharing great numbers yet, you guys. Uh, the lowest I've been in 2 years on Manjaro is 196 pounds. And today I was 190. Well, I didn't weigh myself today because I had Chinese food last night. Yesterday I was 197 and a half. That's still a lot of weight for someone who's 5'2" and a half. Uh, but I've lost 50 pounds since my first shot. On January 10th, 2024, I was 246 pounds, which wasn't even my highest. My highest was 254. And I was really scared. I had lost some weight and I was really scared I was going to finish gaining all the weight back plus more. And then I got to start my Manjaro journey. The reason I share all of this with you each week is is for connection. And my power word for 2026 is to connect. And I used to connect all the time. Um, I was a school teacher, and so I connected with the kids and with other teachers, with parents, and with the community. And then after 11 years of teaching, I became a stay-at-home mom after my son was born. My second child was born. Um, and it was tough. It was really tough because my husband was also a school teacher. So we are not independently wealthy at all. It was a struggle. It was a big time struggle when I became a stay-at-home mom on a school teacher's salary, and we still had a car payment and we had a house payment.
We just had one car and I used to ride my bike to work.
Yeah, Jeff used to ride his bike to work so that way I could have the car so I could pick up the kids and take them to all their things. Um,
Because that would have been hard for you on a bike.
yeah, that would have been hard. We had a Honda Civic and it was a stick shift so we could save money. And we had a car payment with it. And it was really tough. But while I was this stay-at-home mom, I thought it was going to be the job of my dreams because when I taught kindergarten, I'd always feel a little sad when I would see the stay-at-home moms drop off their kindergartners, and they always had a stroller with a younger kid in it. And I'd think, oh, I had to give my baby to a babysitter. And and my daughter didn't make it easy either because she would cry every day when I drop her off. But then she wouldn't be happy for me to pick her up either because she'd have so much fun playing. So I don't know, but I had a lot of mom guilt, and especially as someone who really loves little kids. Uh, and so I got an opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom, but it was tight. It was so tight. Um, Jeff would come home sometimes and he'd say, Gina, don't go to the grocery store. If you go to the grocery store, we'll bounce a check because, or, our checking account will bounce because we're at the maximum of our overdraft protection. So you can't go to the store. not till payday or whatever. And I'd say, okay, Jeff. And every time he said that, it would strike fear in my heart. And I'd think, okay, if we can't buy milk, I'm going to go back to teaching and I can't be a stay at home mom anymore. And that's because when I was a kid growing up, my parents struggled financially too. And and my parents divorced in high school. When I was in high
You're
school, yeah, they weren't that young when they got married. My parents got divorced while I was in high school. And I remember a time when my brother drank all the milk and my mom cried and said, we're not going to be able to buy milk for 10 days until I get paid again. And she was always worried that if she ran out of gas money, we would have to walk in the snow to school. And she was a nurse at the time, and she'd have to walk in the snow to get to her job as well in the cold Illinois winters. It was tight. And so when I was a stay-at-home mom, it was tight. But I knew if there was a day that we couldn't afford to buy milk, I'd have to go back. I would go back to work. I would go back to work. And what's really funny is our neighbors didn't know when our bills were too tight that Jeff would say, you
we didn't
can't,
talk about
because we didn't talk about it with them. They didn't know that Jeff came home and said, don't buy anything, nothing until my paycheck because we are maxed out. Don't spend a dime.
but they probably saw me riding my bike to
Well, yeah, they didn't know that you rode your bike to work. They knew that we were not wealthy. They knew that we were kind of paycheck to paycheck, but they didn't know quite how tight it was at times. But I will tell you what, I swear God would touch the hearts of my neighbors because when Jeff would say that, and I'd think, uh-oh, I need to figure out a way that I can teach, and I'm going to need a babysitter for the kids. And like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this anymore. On my doorknob, I would get a bag that would have these special Bash's milk coupons in it. There was a grocery store here in Arizona called Bash's, and every time you bought a gallon of milk, they gave you a coupon and you had to save them. And once you got 6 of them, you could go to any Bash's store, hand them the 6
coupon.
coupons, and they'd give you a free gallon of milk. And I would have neighbors that wouldn't tell me that they did it. So I never knew who did it. It was just anonymous. But there would always be coupons for free milk show up on my doorknob.
Like a miracle when we needed it.
Yeah, it truly was a milk miracle. And then when I would get them, it'd be like, okay, God's letting me know I'm not supposed to go back to work yet, that I'm okay for a while longer. And I'd be able to go to Bash's and hand it in, and I'd be able to bring some milk home. And then we always did make it. My kids never starved. We always did have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I always had breakfast, lunch, and dinner as a kid too. But even when times were tight, we didn't have snack foods because there was no money for snack foods. But that was good for me too, because I would have been an obese child if that were the case. But there was always enough for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But my parents were scraping by back in those days. Well, during those times in 2015, it was still tight. It was still tight. I worked in 2015. I worked part-time at the YMCA while the kids were in school. It was a great job for me. I did their network marketing, and I also worked their front desk, their welcome desk, and checked people in when they would come in. And I could work hours around my children's schedule, but they couldn't give me very many hours. So I usually only got paid for 10 hours a week, and it wasn't much above minimum wage. I put on events for them, and if it was more than 10 hours, I was working off the clock, and it was volunteer time to help put on their events and things. But I was very connected, and I was really good at connecting people. I knew if someone came in and they needed something or wanted something, I always knew who to connect them with. And I got to work with the Chandler Chamber of Commerce for years. I was a member of the Chandler Chamber, and sometimes I was there representing the YMCA for their network marketing. Sometimes I was there when I worked for Matthews Crossing Food Bank for a year. I was their network marketer and helped plan their fundraising events. And I would go to the chamber events. And I went when I had some home based businesses that I was a part of, and I would go to the Chandler Chamber. And I was always really good at connecting other people. So if I met someone and I talked to them, I go, "Oh, I know who a good power partner for you should be." And then I would connect them with somebody. I was always connecting people, always very involved with volunteering. It was something I discovered. I thought I was going to love being a stay at home mom. And I remember Jeff coming home one day at the very, very beginning when my baby was just teeny tiny and he was so cute. And Jeff came home and I was making dinner and he looked at me and he'd had a long day of teaching and he said, "Oh, Gina, I'm so jealous of you that you get to stay home." And I remember bursting into tears and I told Jeff, "I am so jealous of you that you get to go to work because
Yeah,
I missed the community. I was just staying at home, and I loved my kids, but sorry, yeah, we had a pop up come up. I love my kids, but I still needed a little more interaction with adults too. And I needed to connect with more people. And so I started volunteering where it got me out of the house and I would volunteer anywhere that I could bring my kids. So I was like a Girl Scout leader and all kinds of stuff. Well, in 2015, money was still really tight for us. And at that time we had one child in college and another child that's getting ready at some point to be going to college. And we knew I couldn't work at the YMCA anymore for 10 hours a week. It's time for me to take my master's degree out and do something else with my life. And I remember praying and I told God for the first time in my life, I was going to follow his will instead of mine. But I told him to please make the signs big so I can see him because I don't know what you want me to do. You don't talk to me, with words. I'm not hearing you. And you've probably been giving me signs my whole life, but I know I have free will. And so if I don't see those signs, I'm not going to follow your will because, I'm just going to do my own thing. And I know even if I do see the signs, I have a choice. I have free will. I have the choice to go that direction or not go that direction. But I promise you right now, God, if you give me clear, clear, big signs, I'll follow your will for my life instead of my own. And
be careful what you ask for.
yeah, because that really sent me on a wild ride. And I didn't have anchor moments then. I didn't have a blog then. I didn't have any YouTube channels then. But God gave me some really big tests in just a little over 1 month's time. Uh, and one, I had a horrible, horrible argument with somebody at work. And it was scary because I didn't see it coming. But someone was extremely angry with me and blew up, and it was embarrassing, and it was seen by other people that worked there that I respected, and it was really hard, and it made me feel like I was going to throw up every time I walked into the YMCA. And so then I added a second thing to God, and I asked him to please make me a more forgiving person so I could forgive this person at work and not have to feel like I was going to throw up, especially knowing that it was going to be my last few months working there because I was going to have to quit to find a full time job someplace else, either go back to teaching. I was looking for jobs at ASU, being a program director or something. But I knew I couldn't afford to work there anymore. And I didn't want to leave with that feeling of not being wanted after being there for 20 years, either as a volunteer or as a staff member. And something really huge happened. We had no money because we were still, we
It
were
was tight.
it
Was it
was
tight?
tight.
It was
Oh my
tight.
gosh, it was so tight, you guys. We ate lots of hot dogs, lots of macaroni and cheese, lots of grilled cheese sandwich, and lots of
Hamburger
peanut
helper,
butter and jelly sandwich. And, oh, no, not hamburger helper, that's expensive.
tuna helper.
Tuna helper. And I would buy the tuna when it would be 4 packs for $1, 4 cans for $1.
Remember,
And oh yeah, the oh gosh. One time I went shopping with my son in the grocery, pushing the grocery cart, and it's when he was just a little baby. And money was just so tight. So I would shop on Wednesdays, the first day that the flyers would come out for food being on sale. And I saw that the 4 cans of tuna for $1. So I threw a bunch of cans of tuna into my shopping cart. And at the same time, tuna fish helper was on sale for $1 a box. So I threw a whole bunch of boxes of tuna fish helper in my cart. And as I was pushing it along, this old man walked past me and he looked in my cart and he looked at me and he said, "Wow, ma'am, you must really like that stuff." And then he walked away. I felt so much shame. I looked down at my cart and I went, "Oh no, I'm white trash. We have no money, and this is the only way I can cook." And then later, I tell this story and I laugh whenever I would make my tuna fish helper, and if I'd have a friend over, this is what we'd be eating. I would laugh and I'd call it my white trash cooking. And that's what I'd make. And I'd bedazzle it by throwing in a bag of frozen vegetables or maybe sprinkling a little cheddar cheese on top, but it was my white
I
trash
like the
cooking.
mixed veggies the best.
Yeah, the mixed veggies. Yeah, I just put the frozen mixed veggies on there. Oh, times were tight. The reason I'm sharing this story is something huge happened to me. And this huge thing is going to happen to me again this week. But I was on my computer and it's 2015 and I'm still got one kid to raise and one kid in college that I'm helping out a little bit. She got a lot of scholarships, thank God, but there was still some money that we were helping her with. And there was an ad that came on the screen on Facebook about, and someone had private messaged me on Facebook about this event. And it was called the Seize the Day, Raise the Sea YMCA Conference in Florida. And and they said you should really go to that because I chaired the YMCA Interfaith Prayer Breakfast, and I got to write on social media as the Chandler YMCA different things that we were doing, and I would post things about our YMCA Interfaith Prayer Breakfast. So someone from the YMCA who was putting together the Seize the Day YMCA conference reached out to me and said you should go to this. And it was in Orlando, Florida. Well, Jeff and I didn't have any money. We could barely afford to buy milk. We were eating tuna fish hamburger, helper, and hot dogs, you know. I had no money to go to this conference. And I went to the Y and I asked the Y leadership and I said, hey, would you pay for me to go to this? And they said, oh,
Wait,
Gina,
how long did they laugh?
oh gosh, yeah, they thought that was really funny. And they're like, we don't have money for that. And we already raised the seed for YMCA. We do a prayer breakfast every year. We're good. We're good. We don't need it. And I was like, oh, I really feel like I'm supposed to go to this. I mean, I could feel it in my bones that I was supposed to go to this conference. But there was no way that the Y was going to send me. And they said, if you go, you're going to miss out on a week's worth of work and we're not going to pay you the 10 hours that they paid me, but they weren't going to give me that paycheck either if I go. So if I were to go, I'd have to pay it entirely myself. Well, I remember one night I was looking at my computer and they had early bird pricing for the price of the convention. And I was staring at it. And at midnight, it was going to change to a higher rate. And I knew there was no way I'd be able to pay the higher rate. And I looked and I had enough money in my checking account to pay for the conference when it was uh before they raised the price. I can't remember how much it was, but it was hundreds of dollars. And it was like, I'd been selling origami owl lockets. Actually, I had a business account with origami owl lockets, and I had enough that I could probably pay before midnight. I could pay that registration fee, but I didn't have any money for an airplane ticket. And when I checked like 2 weeks beforehand, it was going to be $600 for me to fly to Florida to be able to go. And I didn't have that $600. And it was at a super fancy resort Hilton that was like really nice with big, beautiful swimming pools and stuff. It was fancy. I didn't have money to be able to stay there for the hotel either. And so I posted on Facebook, should I stay or should I go? And I did that pretty close to midnight. And I want to tell you, I felt like there was a force of energy pulling me into the computer. It was like my life depended on it to go to this conference. And I've never experienced that before. So I took a leap of faith and I paid every penny of selling my origami owl jewelry
Conference.
for the conference fee before it went up in price about 2 minutes before midnight. And after I did, I posted again on Facebook and said, okay, friends, I took a leap of faith. And then I showed the conference that I was going to go to. And I said, I just paid for this conference tickets, but I have zero money for airfare. I have zero money to stay in the fancy hotel that it's at. And I have zero money for food or anything when I get there. If
You should
you've
have brought
ever,
tuna helper with
yeah,
you.
yeah. And I put, if you're ever going to buy an origami owl locket from me, please buy it now. If you want to give one to someone for Christmas or something, please do it now because that's the only way I'm going to be able to afford to be able to go. What I didn't know is when I posted, should I stay or should I go? My friend Jimmy Silva, his wife Michelle, was on Facebook and is one of my friends. And she looked and she saw that. She thought, oh, I wonder what Gina's gonna where she wants to go or where she wants to stay. And then after midnight, when I said I took a leap of faith and I'm gonna go, and I shared where I was gonna go, she was so excited for me. She said she stood up and cheered next to her computer. And then she turned to Jimmy and said, Jimmy, how many lockets do you think we'd have to buy for Gina to be able to afford airfare? And he said, well, how much is airfare? So she looked it up. 2 weeks prior, it was $600 to fly to Florida. But the next day, the tickets went on sale for half price for $300. It was a airfare war that just came out of nowhere.
That used
And
to
she
happen.
turned, yeah, that used to happen every now and again. So the next day she told Jimmy, it's only $300. That'd be a lot of lockets. Can't we just give her $300? And Jimmy said, okay. So I didn't know they were going to do that. And they messaged me and said, Gina, a package came to you at the UPS store and we need you to pick it up at the store. And so I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I can be there by noon or whatever. And when I showed up to the UPS store, they told me I had to go in the back to get the package. And when I sat down, they gave me this beautiful package. And when I opened it up, she had like bookmarks and things that said things about making a difference and being kind and paying kindness forward. And then there was a little box. And when I opened it up, it had three $100 bills in it. And they bought my plane ticket so I could go to the Seize the Day conference. And she had different things about, follow your dreams and stuff like that. That gave me my ticket. And I bought my ticket that day before the price went up. And it changed my life. Um, I had a friend who was a professional speaker named Coach Dar. And I'd done a conference, the last prayer breakfast I did, I got an opportunity to speak at the microphone, and the theme was spread joy. And I shared a story of someone in the Holocaust, a friend of mine who was a Holocaust survivor, Gerda Weissman Klein, how when they were on a death march, starving to death, her friend found a raspberry along the trail, and the guard wasn't looking. So her friend put that raspberry in her pocket. And all day long, that raspberry bounced in her pocket. And that night, when the guards weren't looking, Gerda's friend said, come here, I want to give you something. And she took that raspberry out of her pocket and put it on a leaf and handed it to her and said, Gerda, I want you to have this raspberry. I know you are the lucky one. I know that you will survive. And I love you. And Gerda said, when she put that raspberry on her tongue, it shot joy through her whole body, through her fingers and her toes, all through her body. So much joy. Her friend gave her only possession, a single raspberry, and shared it with her. And then a few days later, her friend died on the trail. And Gerda survived and became one of my friends and spoke at a lot of places. And then I told everybody at that prayer breakfast, we have a choice. We can spread joy. And it doesn't matter if you're surrounded by evil. It doesn't matter how bad your circumstances are. You can choose to spread joy. And then I thanked everybody for coming to the prayer breakfast. But I got a lot of emails of people who just loved that story, people who said, I can never look at a raspberry again the same way. And Jeff's boss, suggested that I become a professional speaker. And this is in 2015. And this is after I prayed to God to give me a sign of what I'm supposed to do next. And I would follow his signs for my life. And in my book, and I didn't have a book at the time, but I called my friend who was at the prayer breakfast, who was a professional speaker, Coach Darlene Santor. And I asked Coach Dar after Jeff's boss said I should be a professional speaker. I said, Coach Dar, how do you become a professional speaker? What do you do? How do you do it? And she said, Gina, you're a fabulous storyteller. You had us all in tears telling the story of Gerda and the raspberry. First thing you need to do, Gina, is you need to write your stories down. And she said, and when you're done writing a story down, you can feel free to share it with me, but you need to have a collection of stories first. And I said, okay. So then I told Jeff, you got to create a website for me so I have a place to blog and I can put my stories down. And God gave me so many different stories in 1 month's time. And I called it my Leap of Faith series of all these amazing things happened to me when I took that leap of faith to go to the Seize the Day, Raise the Sea and YMCA conference in Florida. And I would tell people as they would buy my lockets and things, and I'd tell them, I don't know who God wants me to connect with, but there's somebody, and it's so important. It's my destiny. And I just feel like if I don't go, I'll explode. I've got to get there. And I don't know if the person that's going to be helped is me, or if I'm supposed to meet somebody that I'm supposed to help. But I felt like it was like a life or death thing. I had to go. And that's what I share in my Anchor Moments book. Jeff created my website, and it's so funny. I didn't tell him to do it on November 11th, and I didn't tell him that I wanted to post my first blog post at 11:11 on November 11th. But Jeff had been working on creating my website, and he was still working full time, so he'd work a little bit at night trying to get it ready. And he happened to have Veterans Day off as a school teacher, and he worked all day long on Veterans Day while I was writing my first blog post on paper. And then uh, he finished it around 11 o'clock. And by the time we put my words on the screen and had it posted, we looked and went, oh my gosh, it's 11:11. And 11 is one of my favorite numbers because it was Jeff's mom's favorite number. And she truly was a saint. She was the most wonderful, she was a saint on this planet while she was alive. And I'm sure she's a saint in heaven. And my first blog post on my Anchor Moments blog was at 11:11. And when I went to that conference, it was life changing. And I could tell you all the people that I met, but there were some people that were supposed to meet me. And there was someone, super someone at that conference I was supposed to connect with, and I did. And it changed my life. And that conference changed my life. Now, fast forward to today. I have type 2 diabetes now. I started a YouTube channel 2 weeks after my book came out. My friend Christine Ellis invited me to be on her Christian Network channel, and I got to promote my book on it, and I got to be interviewed. And at the end of the interview, the TV station owners were in the audience, and they came up to me and they said, Gina, we've been praying for somebody to give a show to that's Catholic, because we've got 100 different broadcasters. They had like 4 different TV stations, and one was even in Africa and 3 in the United States. And they were all Protestant. And they said, we know that Catholics are Christians too. And we're looking for a good Catholic that we could give a show to. And we feel in the bottom of our heart that it's you. And we're going to get a contract together. And it was on Good Friday is when I signed my contract 2 days later for Anchor Moments with Gina LeBenz. And then a year later, in March of 2020, the pandemic hit, and I had asked just a few months earlier. They put my shows all over the place on Spotify, iHeartRadio, lots of different places, but they didn't have it on YouTube. And I asked if I had a YouTube channel, if they would let me have my shows, and they said yes. So I do have an HSBN playlist on my YouTube channel, but it doesn't have anything to do with Manjaro. But it did, because I was produced. Oh, when the pandemic hit, and my year contract was up. I was waiting for the pandemic to end, and we started creating videos called Anchor Moment Minutes, and we started putting those on my YouTube channel. And they could be 5 minutes long if someone was sharing a moment in their life that anchored their faith, and it would last 5 minutes. We do a 5 minute one. If it took an hour, it'd be an hour. It's however long their story was, is how many minutes. On HSBN, it was a TV show, it was 27 minutes. Every show had to be 27 minutes. But on Acre Moment Minutes, it was however many minutes it took. And I did a bunch of those. And my YouTube channel grew very slowly. Surely I'd had about 500 subscribers or so. And then I got type 2 diabetes. It hurt my heart so much. I felt terrible. I was so obese and overweight. I was 254 pounds. Um, uh, my cholesterol was sky high, and uh, I went from not having diabetes to having flaming type 2 diabetes. What brought me to the doctor is that my legs felt like they were on fire and had electricity go through them. And it didn't last very long, just maybe a minute, but it hurt like crazy and it was scary. And I thought, what the heck was that? And I was sitting down, so I didn't step on a Lego or something, but it was more painful than stepping on a Lego with bare feet. It hurt and it was
And
weird.
that hurts.
Yeah, and that hurt, stepping on Legos barefoot. And I went to the doctor, and my A1C was 10.2, which they call the suicide level when it's that high. That's crazy high. And I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell a soul. It was 4 days before my daughter's wedding, and I didn't know if I was gonna tell my family other than Jeff. Um, and then a few days later, I had a good conversation with a friend, and that high school friend told me, "Well, I've had diabetes for 20 years, Gina." And I'm like, "You're kidding. You never told me." And she said, "Oh, I don't like to talk about it." I'm like, "Okay." And then I
So there was some shame involved.
Yeah, and then I ran into another friend, and she had type 2 diabetes for 10 years and never talked about it. And then I thought, "Oh, good grief. You've written a book about forgiveness, and it's about forgiveness of self, forgiveness for others, and how to ask for forgiveness when you've messed up." And I thought, "It's time. I need to forgive myself and move on." But what if other people feel ashamed or embarrassed that they have type 2 diabetes? I don't want them to feel that way. And I felt so alone, because all my friends who had type 2 diabetes never said they had type 2 diabetes. I didn't know a soul who had type 2 diabetes, except for one friend whose family member died from diabetes. I knew a couple of people who had diabetes who died from it, and they weren't that old. And so I was scared and I felt alone. And so I started a type 2 diabetes playlist on my YouTube channel and decided I would start talking about it. And then 2 years ago, when I finally got the opportunity to take Mounjaro, because my insurance didn't cover it the first year it came out, it would have been $1,400 a month. And then the second year it came out, they covered it. And I was like, wow, we could afford to do it now. I also had a chance to not do my shot live and not tell anybody I was taking Mounjaro, because there were some people that shame others, that are, "Oh, you're taking the fat
You're
shot or
cheating.
whatever. You're cheating, whatever." And then I thought about it and I thought, I don't want anybody, want any of my shipmates out there to feel that way, to feel like they're alone on this journey. And I don't want them to feel ashamed either. for taking charge of their health. Grief. So here I am. And every Monday night, I get so excited to talk to you all. I get so excited seeing all my shipmates that come week after week in the comments, and I get so excited when somebody new watches like my first time that I gave myself my shot, and they tell me I was so scared to give myself my shot, but then I saw you give yourself yours, and you were scared too, and you did okay, and it gave me the courage to give myself my shot. You know, we don't have to be alone. We can we can be there for each other. And so um, Jeff was working full time and stressful job, and he'd come home and he was exhausted. And he can video edit. He went from being a school teacher to the webmaster of the school district. He can do all that technology stuff, but he was tired when he'd get home. And I really wanted to produce a lot of videos. And so I decided I'd learn how to go live. And I told Jeff I could do it all by myself if you can just make me a thumbnail, because he's really artistic too. He's so talented. And so he does. So he does my thumbnails. And so we do lives. And we do lives on Monday night when I give myself my shot. And I share how my week went. And you know what? I'm not a super responder. There are a lot of super responders out there that you can watch and go, wow, they lost 100 pounds or more in a year. Wow, that's really exciting. And they're really inspiring. But it's not that way for everybody. Actually, I thought I was super slow, and really, I'm super average. So for a lot of you, if you're just starting out, it may be just 50 pounds that you're going to lose. But hey, 50 pounds and it doesn't come back on. And you feel so much better and your cholesterol gets better. My non-alcoholic fatty liver disease got better. Now there's another story that I haven't told you because it happened this week.
Maybe you should save that one and let's go through the comments.
Oh, it's pretty darn important though, Jeff.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I
I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, I this is a story, and there's one person out there that I'm not going to say that person's name, but that person knows who they are, and they know that I love them. And that person reached out to me and needed a little help with something, and I helped that person. And sometimes when when you put kindness out in the world, it comes back to you. And I've never had something come back so fast in my whole life. Uh, Remember Jimmy Silva, the UPS store owner, and his wife, who surprised me with a random act of kindness of $300 to purchase an on sale plane ticket that should have been $600. And without them paying for that plane ticket, I might not have made it to that conference. I might have just thrown a few $100s in the toilet because I wouldn't have had enough. You got to sell a lot of lockets. I needed $2,000 to be able to go on this trip. And I needed that plane ticket. This week, after I helped a friend, I went out to lunch. Jeff and I went out to lunch. And and when we went to my doctor's appointment this week, it was really funny. I had two doctor's appointments. My gynecologist was at 9 in the morning, and then my primary care doctor was at 11 o'clock. And I knew I needed to go fasting because they would want to check my A1C since they were doing my diabetes check. When I arrived at my doctor's appointment for my 11 o'clock appointment, they put me in a room. Guess what number that room was?
I know.
What number was it?
11.
11. So at 11 o'clock, I was sitting in room 11, and my A1C is 5.2. And then,
Glad it wasn't 11.
yeah, it wasn't 11. Oh gosh, that would have been horrible. But then we went out to lunch because Jeff and I were starving because we hadn't had breakfast and it was time for lunch. And by the time they ran tests and everything, it was noon, and we were really hungry. And so I thought, let's go to Rigatoni's, which is one of my favorite restaurants. And we sat down for dinner and we had one of my favorite things. They even have zoodles, and it was so good, and salad and stuff. And anyway, we ordered our favorite meal, and then right before the check came, I got a phone call, and it was Jimmy Silva, the UPS store owner. And you know what? He's a busy guy. He actually owns three UPS stores now. When in 2015, he just owned the one, and now it's expanded to three. And I saw Jimmy the day before. Uh, I was needing to mail something, and I started chatting with his daughter who works there at the store, and been chatting with Jimmy. And Jimmy said, Gina, have you heard of the Ultimate Coach Butterfly Effect Conference? And I said, is that the thing that you post about once a year on Facebook, and you're always so jazzed when you come back from it? You're just on your life is just on fire, and you're just so excited when you come back. And he said, yeah, that's the one. And I said, yeah. And he said, it's next week. You should consider going. And I looked at him and I said, I bet it's pretty expensive. And he said, well, people travel from like London and all over the world to go to this thing. And it's just in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's here. And one of the main gurus that started it is so fabulous. And he even wrote a book called The Ultimate Coach. And uh, and he lives in the area. And so this huge, fabulous conference is coming to Scottsdale. And I said, oh, Jimmy, um, I bet it's pretty expensive though. And I don't have a lot of extra money right now. And we're going to be going on a trip with the van. And I just I don't have spare cash at the moment. I mean, we're okay. We can buy milk. But, I said, "We're doing a lot better than when you gave me that $300 in 2015. Oh my gosh, we could barely buy milk when you did that. We're doing better now." And but I, how much is that conference? And he said, "Well, let me check." And he looked, he's like, "Well, it's $700 for a 2-day conference." And I said, "Oh, Jimmy, that sounds great, but I don't have $700 to be able to go to the conference, but sounds fun. Maybe you can see if I can volunteer or something. I mean, if they have something where I could work the registration tables or something, then I could listen in on a few things maybe, but I couldn't afford to do that right now. Maybe a different year or something, I don't know, but that's quite a bit for me." And he said, "Well, can I give you the book?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "I got an extra paperback of the book, and they always make everybody who goes to the conference, you're supposed to read the whole book before you go. And it's book on tape too." And then he tells, because he's so busy, that he plays it like double fast before he goes. So he has it on 2 times the speed, but he does it every year that he goes. And he says it's life changing. It is so good. And I told Jimmy, "You changed my life by helping me get to the Seize the Day conference. Because if there wasn't that conference, if he wouldn't have paid for that plane ticket, there would be no Anchor Moments. There would be no Anchor Moments YouTube channel. There would be no Anchor Moments book. There would be no Mounjaro Monday lives if Jimmy wouldn't have mentored me and given me that surprise act of kindness." And he laughed and said, well, let me get you the book. I'll give it to my daughter tomorrow, and to bring to the store that's closest to my house. And he said, and to bring to the store, and you can pick it up, and at least you'll get the book. And I said, okay, yeah. And I said, I promise you, Jimmy, I'll read it. Well, when Jeff and I were at Rigatoni's, uh, after my 11 o'clock appointment from room 11, when we were at Rigatoni's, and Jimmy called. He called to tell me he got me a ticket to go to the ultimate conference, to the ultimate butterfly conference. And I get to go. And it's not going to cost me a dime. The kindness was paid forward to me that I'd give it to a friend. Within just like a couple of days. I'm like, wow. So anyway, uh, I told my moderators I wasn't going to talk for very long.
What?
I was gonna go straight to the chat on Mondays. This is gonna be my new style format. And give myself a shot right away, then just go straight to the chat, make it a little shorter. But I just want you guys all to know how much you all mean to me. You are my connection, and I love to connect others. And I'm gonna be doing more connection. I'm gonna be working for my power word this year is connection. And I'm going to try to help connect different people. Just like yesterday, I got to connect us. It was so exciting with the author of Food Intelligence from our book club, and Kevin Hall was so fabulous. If you get a chance, seriously, don't be scared when you see that it was a 2-hour thing. You don't have to watch the whole 2 hours, but you might want to watch the whole 2 hours because he was fabulous. And he was willing to do it live, and he answered the questions of people in the chat, and so they all got to chat with him live through it. And oh, he's amazing and just really just so precious. And I asked him on the show during the live if he could connect me to Julia Bellas, the other author, and he already did today. Yay! And Julia is going to be a guest. Now, she is in Paris, is where she's living now. And so I'm not sure what day or time, but because when I was emailing her back, it was 9:30 at night in Paris time. So hopefully I'll find out tomorrow, but I asked her the show.
Won't
So,
be alive.
well, no, we could even do it as a live. It'll just be at a different time. And I'll let you guys know whatever time it works for her, but it'll probably be like around noon, maybe my time, which would be 8 o'clock in the evening in Paris. So it'll be more of an afternoon, maybe 11 in the morning, 12 o'clock Arizona time. I don't know the exact time, but I already have her committed saying, yes, she would love to be on the show. So there'll be another opportunity. And she's really cool. She lost 70 pounds, remember, you guys. So she had a different journey of writing, being a writer in this book. So it'll be really fun hearing her parts on there. So I'm super excited about that. And one last piece. Everybody, there's different ways that that God can talk to you and give signs, and he talks to different people in different ways because we're all different. Just like Mindy says, everybody is different and everybody is different in so many different ways. But for me, God talks to me often through the number 11. And my doctor's appointment being at 11 o'clock and being in room 11, and my A1C being better. And I was scared it was going to be not as good because of Christmas and stuff.
And wait a minute. When we bought the lunch, rigatoni's, you get like a reward thing, for when you're a frequent diner.
Yeah.
And it you can choose at the end of the meal, do you want to apply your credit to this bill or would you like to let it ride? And we usually let it ride.
Yeah.
This time they said, okay, well, you have $11.11 on your credit.
Yeah. Do you want to use it or do you want to let it ride? We want to use it. So we got 11.11 off of our bill for lunch. Can you believe that? And it was minutes after Jimmy Silva called me to tell me that he got me tickets to the ultimate butterfly conference. Can you believe that? I'm like, wow. So I really feel, and oh, and you know what else it is? It's 2026. And when I went to the Seize the Day conference, it was in 2015, 11 years ago. 11 years ago started my Anchor Moments journey. And so I'm really excited to attend this conference because I feel like there's either someone I need to connect with at this conference, or maybe I need to connect somebody else to somebody who is at this conference. But it's supposed to be just a super neat conference. And it's for entrepreneurs who want to lift others up and pay it forward. And that is my why. That's why I show up. That's why I do Anchor Moments. Uh, it's it's the joy of connecting with my shipmates. And I'm not the best at it. I talk a lot and my videos are long. So YouTube, when I do my lives, and you can even ask the downsized. I remember talking to Christopher on the cruise ship, and he said, "Yeah, when you do a live on YouTube, it only lasts about a week, and then YouTube doesn't send it out anymore. Then it's flat. Nobody watches it unless someone directly goes to your channel and then, wants to binge watch things. But if they don't go to your channel and look for it, YouTube doesn't give it out anymore after about a week. That's about all a live will last." And he was trying to decide if he was going to do any more lives because really the videos that have they call like a green video is a video that someone is searching, evergreen, someone's searching for it. So like the video of me giving myself my first shot, that has over 60,000 views because people are searching for that. But this video is not going to get a lot. So those of you guys who are watching, you got to hear this special story because YouTube isn't going to send it out after Wednesday. It's going to go flat. Just watch my numbers. It'll just go and we'll take. Though if you give it a thumbs up, that does help, and subscribe, that helps. Thumbs up always helps, and comments after the video plays, and while it's live, and when it's not live and people watch it on replay, then YouTube might send it to more people. But connection. What we do get, all of you who showed up, is to know we're not alone. There's someone out there that's cheering you on. There's someone out there that cares about Taz the Bulldog's mom, and cares about Mayor Mindy and Grant, and Traveling T, and Black Squirrel, and all my wonderful shipmates. There's someone here who cares about you and who's excited when you share your wins, that we're on this journey together. None of us are alone. We're here for each other. And that's my why, is to connect with you. And I'm hoping after uh I read this big, oh my God. All right. And then other thing, you want to know why I do a weight loss book club? Want to know why? You know why? Is it because I love to read? No, I have ADD. I I remember my mom loves to read. Oh my gosh. When she was a little kid, she read every book in the library uh, in her town. I mean, she really did. She was like amazing. She loves to read, and she's part of a lot of book clubs. And she mentioned to me the other day, you don't like to read because she doesn't watch my channel. And she said, you don't read, Gina. And I said, actually, yes, I do now, because I have a weight loss book club. And every week I have to show up because there's at least one shipmate who's going to show up. A lot of times I have like maybe 10, 12 people that'll show up, live with me on a Sunday, but they show up. And I know I have to read my next chapter because I have to be ready for the shipmates who show up on time and have that book read. And I have never read so many books, but these are all the books that we have read. We just finished Food Intelligence, every page. Uh, Atomic Habits, I love this one. Actually, this is one book I read from cover to cover by myself, and it was so life-changing. I knew I wanted to read it with you guys, and that's what started my book club, doing one chapter a week. Uh, Decoding GLP-1 with Dave Knappman. He was a wonderful guest too. It was fun doing the talk to the author with him. Michael Moss, Salt, Sugar, and Fat. We read all of that. That was a thick book and tiny print. Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Emotional Eating. And the one that we're going to start on Sunday is Weightless, which
It's okay too. We know.
yes, Weightless is
All
the
right.
book we're going to read on Sunday, chapter 1 of that. But because I have a weight loss book club, it makes sure that I read entire books. And it's always more fun to read a book when you're reading it with some friends. And we're a book club for busy people. And we only do one chapter a week. And you know what? It's for you guys. It's for me too. So I know in a week's time, I've got just one chapter I have to really dive into. But for those of you who are praying people, uh, pray for me that I've got to start this book, but I've got to get it all read. No, Friday morning. Friday morning. It's a pretty thick, book. I'm going to try to see if I can read, and I'm hoping that I'll do a better job with videos for you all in the future, that you'll be able to see a difference, and that I'm going to work extra hard to figure out best ways to connect with you. And I want to start doing some connection meetups. And one meetup for sure we're going to do, it'll be our second time, is doing the cruise with the downsized, June 4th through 8th. And you can go to the downsized.org or .com or .org. I don't know, but the downsized.
Probably .com.
Do you think it's .com? So maybe the downsized.com. It's either .com or .org, but it's the downsized. And if you would like to go on the cruise and meet us there, please do. We had a blast last year. I know you'd have a blast this year if you would be able to come. And I want you to be able to put in the comments. I'm going to be asking that more often, to put where you live. You don't have to give you like your exact address, but like even like what state are you in? Because Jeff and I are going to be doing more with our Anchor Moments RV YouTube channel and traveling to a lot of states. And we'll do a meetup in Florida too.
I am wrong.
No?
There's 2 times.
What? Oh, they
It's
have both.
.org.
Oh, it is .org.
It is .org.
See, downsize.org. And that's so I can connect you to get with the downsize, so you could do that cruise with us. And they're a great channel too. So
At least I didn't
anyway,
call them milliliters.
that was one of his other mistakes the other day. Oh my gosh. Well, now I'm going to see what you guys have to say. And I would apologize to my moderators, because I did. I promised them, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go like really fast. We're just going to go straight into the connecting with our community. And yet I went
Those were good stories.
went extra long with some new stories. But yeah, I'm here. I'm here because of all of you, that I can connect with you, and it means a lot to me, and I'm hoping that it means something to you guys too, to know that you're not alone and somebody cares about you and hopes that you do really well. And if you have a question, a lot of times if I can't answer it, someone else in the comments can answer it. And Jeff always likes to say, we're not doctors, but we give you a lot of questions that you could ask your doctor. And if we came up with something that works for us, you can ask your doctor if it would work for you, or your pharmacist, because a lot of times your pharmacist will know the answer, and they're really easy to get a hold of. All right. I guess that's all I got. But that was a lot. I'm sorry. But I love you guys. And that is my why. So let's see
Your
here.
glasses, Jen.
Yeah.
I think because
And
those are the right ones.
and I do want to thank my moderators too, Grant
Thank you.
and Barb and Mindy. They're just going to get paid in hugs when I see them when we're visiting in our van. But I love them. I love them dearly, and they keep this a safe place for us. All right, and first one in the house. Oh, that just says us in Anchor Moments. Tick. There we go. And our first person in the house saying is Black Squirrel. Hi, everyone. My power words are healing and imperfection. Oh, those are really good. Those are really good, Black Squirrel.
I didn't choose imperfection as one of my power words, but this morning, actually, I've been trying to get a project done where I could clean off my phone of all the photos and videos on it and do it in a way where everything's backed up correctly so I can produce videos and such. And this morning I just got up and started singing to myself. I just said, I'm gonna get my videos done. Right. And I thought, focus, I'm just gonna focus on one. And then I thought, boy, this I don't have to be perfect.
Mhm.
It's such a freeing kind of thing to know, wow, I don't have to be perfect. I really like that imperfection one.
That's really good. And Jeff's word for 2026 is focus. And you guys, it's been life changing for us that focus is his word.
Because I
He,
can focus on one thing and I don't have to do it perfectly, and I
Mhm,
can feel the success of getting it done.
mhm.
And
Uh,
I cleaned off my phone and I
yeah,
started working on my next Anchor Moments RV video.
yeah. And he hasn't done one in 2 months now. Because he
Okay.
did, yeah, no, it's okay. But up until January 1st, before he chose focus it as his word,
It's
he
just been
feels
hanging over my head.
yeah, he has a whole bunch of things hanging over his head, so he doesn't do hardly anything because it's all this stuff hanging down, and he doesn't even know where to start. So then, you procrastinate, and you don't get anything done. And now that he's doing focus, he's getting a lot
Take a little
done.
piece, focus on that. Don't be perfect. Just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, I really like your power words.
yeah. Those are really good. And Mindy says, my power word is strength. Strength means more than muscle. It's consistency over perfection. Power without apology, and showing up grounded in who I already am.
I
Isn't that
love that.
beautiful? And Mindy's vision board. We had Mindy on a show about power words, and she shared her vision board, and it is beautiful. It is stunning, and it's full of fabulous words like that, as well as pictures too. Oh, it's just so pretty. Hey, and we got Mounjaro Journey with Pam in the house, and she says, hello, shipmates. And we love Mounjaro Journey with Pam too, and she's getting close to having 1,000 subscribers. And I highly recommend her channel as well. Check it out. She's lost 160 pounds on Mounjaro, and she's recently had a skin lift in her tummy stuff. And then she had to go back last month and she got a belly button put in. So she talks about that too. She's got all kinds of stuff and beautiful ocean walks because she's in California. So I also highly recommend you watch some of her shows and subscribe to her channel as well. And we got Barb in the house. Good evening, all. My word of 2026 is harvest. And I love Barb's word. Barb has helped so many in the GLP-1 community for the 3 years that she's been taking GLP-1s. She is amazing. And she's been with me since day one, since my first shot. She saw my first video when almost nobody saw it. And it's time for her to harvest some of that fabulous kindness she's put in the world. It's time for her to harvest some of that kindness back. So if you get a chance, check out her Substack and her YouTube channel. She's phenomenal. Highly recommend her. And we got traveling tea in the house. Yay! Good to see you, traveling tea. And Barb says, are you going to make me cry? I'm
Maybe
sorry, Barb, baby, baby. Oh, she says, hi, T. Yeah, everyone's just so friendly with each other. And Pam was worried she started late. That's okay. She said, sorry, I was watching Barb's video with Michelle. Oh, yeah. And Barb did a new video today, and I'm going to watch it when I get off here and watch it. Hey, and frankly, Michelle's in the house. She says, hi, all just joining. What did I miss? Oh, goodness. And Journey of Life is here. Yay, Angie. And Michelle, so cool that you and Barb met up. I'm playing that again after this live. Oh, good, 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 good. And Grant's in the house. Yay. And frankly, Michelle says, Pam, it was so much fun. This is our third or fourth time, but this time we did a video. Yeah. So there's a bunch of people that live in Florida that have been getting together for meetups. And I've asked Barb to once I give her the date, I'm not sure when exactly we're driving through. Orlando, but it will be this spring, so February or March. And once we have the day, I'm asking Barb to help me get the word out for all of you that live in Florida. We're going to meet up at Barb's favorite restaurant that we ate there with her, and it's delicious. So it's a great place with really good parking, and we're going to be Don Julio's or something like that.
Something like
Something like that in Orlando.
we'll
But
find
we'll
out.
get the information out there and we'll do a video during it too with anyone who wants to be on that. I think that'll be fun. I want to do more connecting with you guys, and I'm so glad that you guys have fun and get together. And Grant says, I just had a pretty good non-scale victory. Went through my son's closet and found several things I'm going to wear. Yeah. Nothing like being skinny enough to wear your kids' clothes. That's awesome, Grant. Oh my gosh. It's amazing how fast our muscles are getting strong, says Pam. Absolutely. And Angie says, hi to everybody. See here. Yeah, we're let me go through these and see if there's any questions or more non-scale victories and things. Pam says, after doing some planks before the abdominal surgery, the surgeon said he didn't need to repair my ab muscles.
Wow.
Aw, and we are a great community. Hey, we got Laura Miller in the house too. Woohoo! And Michelle says, hi, Barb. Long time no see. Barb and I got together today and we did a video talk. So please check it out. Health at any cost. Absolutely will do. And it was so fun having Michelle on my show a couple of weeks ago on a Mounjaro Monday Live. She's lost 130 pounds and did it in only about a year's time. So another one of our super responders and super kind too. Barb said, it was so much fun today. Barb's having a good day today. I'm so glad. Yay. And people are saying hi to all the shipmates. And Mindy says, Michelle, I was watching, but this live interrupted my viewing.
Oh,
And she's one of my moderators. So we really appreciate that Mindy's here. But I'll be watching Barb too once we get done here. Oh my goodness. And Barb says, bubbles are normal. I get them all the time. Oh, thanks, Barb. I know. But I and she just says, but she is not a doctor. Yeah. I mean, I know the bubble's not going to hurt me or anything, but I want every ounce, every little teeny bit of that medicine. I want every last drop in
it's
me.
like Folgers.
Yes,
Go to the last drop.
exactly. Oh, Grant says he can't wait to watch. And Angie says, Barb, you could be a doctor with all the info under your belt. Oh my gosh, she can. And she used to be a midwife.
Go ahead.
Oh, Barb says that. I was a midwife for 32 years. She was in the medical community doing medical stuff. So she knows her stuff. Barb, I'm watching your playlist on my iPad. Oh, that's awesome. I love when we support each other. And Angie says, amazing, Barb, just so awesome. You're full of wisdom. Yep, and I've been watching a lot of Barb's old stuff too on her channel. I just love her. Yep. And wow, Barb says I've caught 900 babies. That's a lot of
Wow.
babies to deliver. Woohoo! Angie says, yellow heart, red heart, Barb the baby catcher. That's right. And harvest is a wonderful power word. You're right, Pam. And Barb says, indeed. And Michelle says, Gina, you have the most positive attitude. I love that about you. Oh, thanks so much, Michelle. I appreciate that. Barb, I have 2 accounts playing your playlist right now, too. Shh. And Pam says, Gina, you have the biggest heart, and it's definitely what I love the most too, and how you make us all feel. Oh, thanks, because that is my why. I just want to be here for you guys. Oh, thanks, Grant. And he agrees. And Grant says, it's what got me to stay here, Michelle. The positive attitudes of Gina and Jeff and this whole community. We really do. We have the best shipmates. We really, really do. Grant, I noticed it the first time I watched, said Michelle. Oh, thank you. We getting some hearts. Hey, we got Chucky in the house too. And he says, wow, I love you guys for sharing your stories. You're welcome, Chucky. You are so welcome. I was talking to Jimmy's daughter. She's 19 and she is just absolutely precious. And she'd like to volunteer helping kids that are in the foster care system. And I looked at her and I said, I know she could help with the stuff with Love Boutique because we do that at Christmas time, that Christmas store. And there's a playlist if you want to see what that looks like. It's so much fun. We create a free store for foster kids to be able to buy presents for free for their friends and family. And it's just and we help them wrap the presents and stuff. It's so fun, and she can help at that. But that's just one day a year. And I said, gosh, I don't know exactly how to do that, but I do know one thing. I know my friend Nora. And so I was able to hook her up. And I told her, I said, here's the thing, a good mentor who mentors someone else, you're reaching with one hand, you're reaching with one hand to lift someone up, but a good mentor is also reaching up to someone who has even more wise than they are. And we also look for mentoring. And the more that we can get mentored up this way, we can pass it and lift somebody else up this way. So mentoring, your hands are kind of like this, because one down to lift up and one to reach up.
Like a
Pull
barrel
up.
of monkeys.
Yeah, kind of like a barrel of monkeys. Yes. Yes.
By the way, no one at the Stuff with Love Boutique chose the barrel of monkeys.
Oh,
No, there were other things.
yeah, there you go. There you go. And Pam says, yes. And Jeff, such a sweetheart. What an amazing partner to Gina. Both are true gems to us all. Oh, thanks,
Thank
Pam. And it does take a village. It really does, Michelle. Absolutely. And Laura says, they always say when you think God isn't watching out for you, he is. I believe in that. And you know what else I believe in? Miracles. And sometimes, I mean, miracles don't all have to be big. They're not all just, oh, someone was healed that was dying and then they didn't die or whatever. There are miracles, little teeny tiny miracles all around us. We just have to open our eyes to see them. And God wanted me to be sure I knew that he was part of getting me to that ultimate butterfly experience, and he does not want me to miss it. And that's why I had so many 11s that day. The 11 o'clock appointment, the 11 o'clock uh,
11.
room 11, finding out that my A1C was extra low at the 5.2. And then
Rigatoni's.
at Rigatoni's, we have $11.11 on our account. Do you want to use it? Yeah. Yeah, and it was just a minute after I got off the phone with Jimmy Silva saying that he found a way for me to be able to go to that conference for free. Wow. Wow. 11 years after my life was changed from the first conference I went to. That's crazy. The Lord provides for sure. Amen, Grant. Amen. And Chalky says, now, Gina, please don't make me cry over milk.
Wasn't even spilt milk.
I know. Oh, Chucky, you really are a comedian, Chucky. Oh my gosh, you crack me up. And hey, we got Sid in the house, and she says, I have been working home for 2 years. Yes, you miss people. I got a new job. I start on Monday back in the office. Yay. Last time I was in an office, I was a size 20. Now I'm a size 2. Wow, Sid. That is amazing. You're gonna have to go shopping, and some fun clothes shopping for new outfits to wear to work. How fun is that? And Pam says, I'm so thankful that God has found ways to get through the right financial days in between or just before paydays when the budget is tight. It amazes me every time, and I'm so grateful. And Pam would understand that because she's a school teacher, just like Jeff and I were. And it was, yeah, and it's tough. Teachers aren't paid very much. And we got everyone saying hi to each other. Yeah, and congratulating Sin. That is amazing. Get down to size 2. Wow. And Chalky says, isn't God wonderful? It's amazing to think that since more than two of us are gathered here in his name, he's here with us on Anchor Moments.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Chalky.
Thank you, God.
Yes. Thank you, God. Amen. I hope it's a huge paycheck from YouTube. Oh, yeah. We're not there yet. Our channel is still small enough. It's just a teeny bit. And there's costs of doing things to run your channel better, like
But not zero.
but not zero. But as you grow, once you hit a certain level, then it's good. I think you need about 15,000 subscribers for it to truly uh, make a difference for you financially. So anyway, if anyone would like to like and give us a like and subscribe, that'd be great.
Subscribe.
If you haven't subscribed already. Oh goodness. And please like Pam's and subscribe to Pam and to Barb Health at Any Cost channels. Let's get them up there. And yes, and Pam says, yes, Chalky, imagine right now we are all listening and sharing. We're one big family here. Absolutely. And Journey of Life, Angie says, I'd love to hear you read an audiobook of some sort. I can listen to your voice all day, Gina.
Oh,
Oh, Angie.
I'll focus on that at some point.
Yeah.
I have a I have the equipment and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. He's
Yep.
been wanting me to read my book and have it on Audible. So that is one of the things that's on my list of things that I need to get doing at some point. But Angie, you could just make me cry right now because sometimes I feel bad that I talk too much. When I was a kid, my grandma, my
What?
would call me motor mouth. I used to hate it when she called me that because I talked all the time. Uh, and I was feeling a little guilty that I talked a little bit too much during my interview yesterday with Kevin Hall. I thought, oh, I should have just done more listening. People already know my stories. I should just be listening to his stories. So I'm trying to be better and to be the best version of myself possible for all you guys. But what you just said today, Angie, thank you. You made my heart smile today. I appreciate you big time. Thanks for showing up. Uh-oh, I made Michelle cry. Oh, I love you guys. I'm getting some more hearts. And Juanita's in the house. Good evening, everyone. I'm joining late. We're glad you're here. And I shared some news stories at the beginning of this if you get a chance to watch it on replay. Aw. And Pam says, this is why God put you both together and resurrected Jeff's plan to be a to be a priest.
Redirect.
Redirected. Yeah, that's what I was like, wait, you could be a priest now?
Bye.
He's kidding. Redirected. Yeah. Oh, she
I said
found it
that.
there. Yep. And she put
I
redirected.
saw them.
Those silly autocorrects. Oh my gosh. She said, darn phone. He redirected Jeff to be with you as both of you are so strong together. Thank you. Hey, and Chalky says here, wait, unbelievable how God makes the impossible happen. Yeah. I shouldn't be alive, but God lifted me up and filled my life with joy. And you guys are a part of my joy. Oh, thanks, Chalky. And it really is special when you show up because it is the middle of the night in England right now. And you always can make us laugh. And one day we're going to go to England. We are going to meet you, and we'll do an in-person show, and you can share that moment in your life that's anchored your faith, Chalky. Wouldn't that be so fun? And we could do it in person. How great would that be? And Juanita says, my word for the year is
Oh,
resolute.
I could.
Oh, that is very powerful and good. I love it. There we go. And Chalky says, well, this English Catholic thinks my Catholic American friends are just brilliant. Everything you said tonight, Gina, has really resonated with me. especially getting the type 2 hugs. Yeah, it's hard. It is a hard disease to get. But we're just glad you're with us for sure. And we're getting more love. And Pam says, so powerful. Wow, this is so amazing. And Chalky, I became a Catholic in high school.
Oh,
Aw. And Grant says, don't worry, Gina. You have to say what you feel led to say. There's a reason for sure. Yeah, I didn't even know that this was exactly what I was going to do today.
I didn't either.
But it was and I didn't tell Jeff. And it was Barb's Substack today. It was so good hearing about her why and in detail and her why over the years and how her why has changed over the years. Um, it was so good. I
I
can't
can't
wait
wait
to
to.
when she writes her life story as a book. We're going to do it in our Anchor Moments book club, and we'll do it one chapter a week so we can savor it, and it'll be wonderful. And Pam says, um, I love how you have that number of 11. I see so many connections with dates of things and people in my life too. Yeah. One of my friends, it's a dime. Uh, and I can't remember why it connects her to her dad, but something about dimes do. And her dad passed away when she was younger. And every time she sees a dime, it always shows up when she has to make a really hard decision or she's at a turning point, when there's something happening in her life, either positive or negative, she'll find a dime like on the seat of her car or something or on the sidewalk.
Oh,
And she knows um, that God is with her and that her dad is standing there with Jesus and and watching over her. So it's different for everybody, but for us, it's definitely the number 11 is a big part of it. And Pam says, but you can also remix to a short too, and it tags your live as well, and it doesn't help to save lives or live highlights into playlists. Um,
doesn't help.
Oh, doesn't it help? Yes. And actually, that's one of the things that I am working on. I spent a lot of time this afternoon and reading my ultimate coach book, which I'm going to be really concentrating on tomorrow. I was learning how to take some of these lives and I can cut out something that's really important and make that be a standalone video. And and I can cut short things and make shorts. So, and then tag them back to the longer video. So if someone sees it on the short shelf and goes, oh, that's really interesting. I wish I could hear more. They could click and then go watch something longer. And I'm going to learn how to do a lot of that myself. So I don't have to rely on Jeff so much for everything and take some pressure off him. So if all he had to do was make thumbnails for this channel and sit next to me and smile,
And
he
work on
could do
the
more.
Anchor Moment RV
Yeah,
video.
he'll give him more time to work on Anchor Moment RV videos, especially now that he's been organizing all the videos and he's been doing the organizing part and clearing off his phone. So I think that'll help. So I'm going to try to do that with some of my old pieces, make shorter videos out of them, take some of the best pieces and repurpose some of it. And that was definitely driven by spirit too. Yep. Oh, and Chalky's sending everybody hugs. And Michelle says, Weightless is actually really good. I'm on chapter 7.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so glad you like that book because it was Michelle who recommended that we do
Food
food
intelligence.
intelligence. And then she alerted me to Weightless, and it just came out December 31st. It's only been out a couple of weeks. I've read the first chapter already, and it was excellent. And there's a lot to talk about in chapter 1, and I'll be ready to discuss on Sunday, but I won't be able to read chapter 2 until I am done with this. I got to read this book by Friday
How about a
morning.
Katie doing?
It's a lot, and the print's small, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading tomorrow for sure. And Pam says, I like how you do your book club too, because I have a hard time staying focused and I prefer reading self help type and all the books you've had. Oh, thanks, Pam. Yeah, and I've always been a more of a self help kind of book person if I'm going to read a book. Everyone's giving chalky hugs back. And Pam says, I'm hoping that I'll be putting my down payment for the cruise on the 25th or the 30th. Oh, good, Pam. It'll be so much fun having you. And Grant's going to be there, and Mindy's going to be there, and I think um, I think Paula's going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of us, and Grant has that's the direct to get to the downsized at sea to sign up. So thank you, Grant, for finding that. And I did reach out to the downsized, and when we are in North Carolina this spring, we are going to meet up with them, and we're going to do a special show about the cruise and how to sign up and that kind of stuff. And we'll share our Mounjaro journeys together as two married couples doing YouTube channels. Thought that'd be kind of fun. And we might even be able to see if we can pull Mayor Mindy in it. Maybe we do a thumbnail that says the cruise whisperer or something like that. Because she's really good at talking spouses into going who never want to go.
I counted the pages there.
How many pages?
11.
Like
474.
474. It's a lot of pages. Oh gosh, I hope I can do it. And Michelle says, "Oh, I missed. We were supposed to give our power words. Mine is thrive. Oh,
Ah, I
that's
like
such a fabulous word. I've actually been very focused on ensuring I strive for it. Yes, that's awesome, Michelle." And Angie says, "I had to step away for a bit, but I'll catch up in a bit." Well, we're glad that you do. And thank goodness for replays. And Chalky says, "Please, can my two power words be attractive and billionaire?" Oh, that's hilarious. Sure, why not, Chalky? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And Michelle said, I had an NSV. I had an NSV after looking at pics. I realized I needed to go down in size from a 24 to a size 10. Wow. Also on Friday, my BMI went to normal range. I cried. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you, Michelle. That is fantastic. Hey, we got Mike in the house. NC Yankee. You, the Mounjaro lady. Good to see you live here. Hey, Mike, good to see you too. And frankly, Michelle says, I ran a home for abused kids for 7 years. Wow. Thank you so much for doing that, Michelle. That is not an easy job, but definitely, definitely needed. And Mike says, I'm an assistant pastor. I didn't know that. And definitely believe in miracles. Well, one day, Mike, we are going to meet you and you can share a moment in your life that's anchored your faith and we'll put it on the show. That would be so great. And Angie says, I find it fascinating how many school teachers slash employees are on the pen. I too was working at school. I wore many hats. Oh yeah. And we chat in the lunchroom as teachers. So I think if you see a teacher that's doing really well and then she's willing to spill the beans that she's on the pen, then it gives other people encouraged to give it a try too. And we're on the same health insurance as well. And Pam says, I'm laughing right now too. Jeff got resurrected. Yeah. Chucky is so funny. Oh my gosh. And Pam says, I'm so lucky to have actually been eligible for Mounjaro, and my teacher's insurance has been great too. That is good.
not always the case.
Right. And Angie says, Barb's story made me bawl like a baby. She has endured so many things. Keep fighting, whereas many others would have probably given up. Yeah, she kept fighting. Yep. She is one tough cookie. She is amazing and she inspires me. And I love her to the moon and back.
What about me?
And I love you to the moon and back too. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And Michelle says, I'm booked for the cruise as well. Oh my gosh, we have so many shipmates who are going to be there this year. I am so excited. And Grant says, so true, Angie. Barb is such an inspiration. Yes, she is. Did we make it through? We did. All right. Well, if you start noticing some changes on my channel and a lot of things happening, it'll be whatever happens to me at that butterfly effect. And I've decided that I'm going to try to learn how to do some editing myself. They won't be fabulously edited, but that you'll see some short videos coming that aren't lives, but I am never giving up my lives because connecting with you all is the biggest part of my why. It's why I'm here because I love connecting with you guys live as well as in the comments on replay. But I don't want to give up the live. So that's always going to happen. But we'll see if we can get some evergreen content going too. All right. And where's my phone?
You want to read the last two comments?
Yes. And Chalky says
2:14 is
2:14 a.m.
England.
Kiss, kiss. Oh my gosh, Chalky. God bless you for coming out and watching us. And we need Shipmate shirts. Yes, we do. And we do, yeah, maybe one more that says Shipmates. I'll have Jeff design something. We do have some Anchor Moments shirt. And on the back, it says, are you happy? Get anchored. And some Anchor Moments RV ones too, travel journey with grace that already can be purchased on my, if you look in the, well, not in the description of this video, I'll add it on the description of this video, but on my other ones, I usually have, we have a little store and we have all kinds of fun Anchor Moments things, but it'd be kind of one to have one that says Shipmates. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out at some point, but we do have some Anchor Moment ones. Absolutely. And to wear one day on the ship. Oh, Grant, you are so sweet. I love you guys so much. All right, let's see here. Top fans. So in third place this week is Frankly Michelle. Woohoo! Second place is Mounjaro Journey with Pam. And our number one is Grant Campbell. Yay! Wear your crowns proudly this week. Be on the lookout. There's going to be a surprise at some point. I'll be putting down when we get to have the other author of Food Intelligence, Julia, who's lost 70 pounds and she did all those weird experiments where she got to be the lab rat. So it'll be really fun hearing about what she, how she did all that too. And Angie says, I'm about to drive my son to
Jiu-Jitsu.
Ooh, I just wanted to say, have a good night to everyone. Blessings to all. And thank you, Jeff and Gina. Love you guys. We love you too. All right, everybody. Hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. Love you all. Bye-bye.